All love the isms. Sesame Street introduces two black Muppets, Wes and his dad Elijah, to talk to children about black identity and race. Now, the joke here being the Muppet with the father. A lot of times I see TV shows or commercials or stories, ABC News, 2020, whatever it is, where they have a black mother, but the father is never in the picture. So when I'm watching it with my wife or whatever, I'm sitting there and I'm like, are you telling me that every time I see these stories, and this is almost every time, and the same would probably be true for other races if they got on TV as well, the father is almost always excluded from the picture. You can think about that what you will, but it seems like that's often the case where the father is excluded. It's always, oh, empowered single mother this, single mother that. Like, okay, well, I turned out okay because I had both parents in my life, all the way throughout my formative years. Teen, college, they're still together to this day. The father is always absent. So my joke is always with her, I'm like, I know statistics are what they are in that community, but you would think they would want to show communities of all types two positive role models, whatever those may be. Mother, father, father, mother, mother. Because as I've always said in the past, statistics clearly show that children from two-parent households, regardless of what that composition is, it creates situations where children go further in school, have less truancy, less interaction with the law, just become better humans in life, and that yin and yang in the parental mix. So why do we always see these commercials and movies and whatnot where the father's absent? Makes you wonder, right? So here, good to see that Wes has his dad Elijah in the picture. Even though they're only Muppets, it's a lot to ask actually to have a father in the picture anywhere. On TV these days, it seems. There you see Wesley Walker and his father Elijah. That's where the good things end, because there's another Muppet here. It says a Hispanic Muppet named Rosita, where in an episode due out soon, she will be confronted with a racist incident at a grocery store. And then they go talking here about the Muppets, and remember, it's all about race. Things on the outside, like our skin color, our hair texture, our noses, our mouths, and eyes make us who we are. Many people call this race. But even though we look different, we're all part of the human race, which is a great message. It would be great if that's where it ended. If that was the only message that was being pushed, that we're all equal in a lot of ways. I'm never going to say we're all equal in all ways, because there are a lot of scumbags in our society. Criminals, politicians. Oh wait, I said criminals already. It keeps going on and keeps going on. The work to dismantle racism begins by helping children understand what racism is and how it hurts and impacts people, says Kay Wilson Stallings, Sesame Street Workshops, Executive Vice President of Creation and Production. So it never stops with a positive message. It never stops with togetherness. It's always divisiveness. Somebody out there is evil. Somebody out there is to blame for everything going on in your life. It's okay, kids. We've got puppets here to tell you who's on the good side and who's on the bad side of things. We've got something better for you. Minnesota Theater cancels its production of Cinderella because the cast is too white. However, the show was scrapped when its artistic director noted that the cast was overwhelmingly white. Instead, what they decided to do was to create a production of Footloose, a movie with all white people, which will feature a more racially diverse cast. That's now their 2022 plan. A local Minnesota theater has canceled a production of Roger and Hammerstein's Cinderella because the cast was too white. Chanhassen Dinner Theaters was scheduled to stage the show later this year before its artistic director stepped in to slam its lack of diversity. It was 98% white, the artistic director told Pioneer Press on Wednesday after looking at who had been cast. So those individuals, this is skill-based here. They're not just going to hire anyone, just to hire anyone. Okay, well, let me walk that back. Now they are. But this isn't a situation where You have like in the corporate world where they'll hire individuals just based on their gender or their color just to fill a quota. This is skill-based. Like the NBA, the NFL, like we kind of always joke, oh, those leagues, when they come out and their athletes run their mouths, oh, well, why aren't there more Asians? Why aren't there more whites? Why aren't there more Latinos in the NFL or the NBA? We need more diversity. There's too many black folk there. The joke is, of course, obviously, that's a skill-based thing, something you can measure. Here, theater, ballet, other arts, same kind of thing. I couldn't just walk in there and do what they do. That takes skill. Years and years of honing your craft. Check this out, though. According to the most recent census, 92.5% of people in Chanhassen are white. Less than 3% of residents are Hispanic, while 1.1% are black. No photos of the Cinderella cast were officially released before the show was scrapped. So think about it. If the show is 98% white, let's just assume there were 50 people in the cast, just to make the math easy. That means one individual wasn't white. So 49 out of the 50 people were white, which is 98%. That would actually mean that they would have just needed 3 more individuals. Only 3 out of the 50 who weren't white. Or let's say maybe we could go with 2 more, or 2.5, if you want to get the numbers roughly in the ballpark. The individuals that weren't white, to bring the numbers in line with what the local area is here. It says it's located in southwest Minnesota. So now what are they going to do with the casting for Footloose? Will the casting for Footloose be diverse for that area? Diverse. Will it be 92.5% white, 3% Hispanic, 1% black, and presumably what's that add up to? 95, 96, roughly about 97, so 3% other. Is that Asian, native to America? Oh wait, we're all native to America. Is that going to be representative, this Footloose diverse cast? Is that going to be representative of these numbers? So again, if we take our same 50 individuals, we'd have 1 black person, 2 Latinos, maybe one Asian, maybe 1 native to America, because I'm native to America, and the rest white, because that would be diverse based on the community that is putting on this production. Or is it going to be a situation where to get to diversity, the number of individuals who aren't white is going to be greater than 10, 20, 30, 40%? Who knows? Interesting stuff, right? One more, check this out. The soft bigotry of low expectations, baby. Democratic lawmakers in Rhode Island complain that Senate dress code mandating blouses, slacks, collared shirts, and jackets is oppressive and biased towards white people. And what you colored individuals out there need to know, look me in the eyes right here, I'm going to tell you the truth right now. And this is something that when we gather in our secret white societies, this is what we talk about. The jackets, slacks, blouses, these things we wear because apparently they were created by us for supremacy purposes. There's something about the way they're stitched and tailored. And I laugh because so much better than you right now. Look at this. Look at this collared shirt. You could never wear one of these. This tailoring, if you have any pigment to your skin at all, not happening. Look at this. When you try to pull it on over your head, you won't be able to get it over your head. It's custom tailored for white people. And we've done that purposefully over time. We've created special fibers and special stitching. And additionally, some of the fibers in this shirt, if you were to try to put this on, Mr. Singh, Strong, my peeps out there, if you guys were to try to put this on, you start itching your skin because it's meant to be oppressive. You might break out into hives or something like that because we're terrible. And secretly, and when we get together in those white society meetings, we sit there and we're like, you know what? How great is it for all of us sitting here? Oh, how great. Oh, to be so white. It's so great. How can we figure out ways to oppress those brown folk that we're always trying to keep down? You know what we're going to do? Blouses. Forget what you saw in that Prince Chappelle skit. Blouses. These are things we do to oppress you. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Nothing. You aren't going to do anything about it. All right, anyway. All joking aside, let's get on with it. Senator Jonathan Acosta said the rules were super problematic. When powerful men dictate decorum and make demands over our body and our dress, it translates to colonization language. Senator Cynthia Mendez stated, respectability politics is often something that is used to control black and brown bodies. Despite their complaints, the Senate voted to approve the formal dress code in a 29-7 vote. This is obviously one of the dipsticks right here that was complaining. There's the guy here. Shockingly, someone like this took the Green New Deal pledge. I'm so shocked. When powerful men dictate decorum and make demands over our bodies and our dress. See how she manages to work the discrimination and victimhood into it? Oh, my vagina. He's trying to control my body by telling me I have to dress appropriately. That said, she's dressed the part right here. Right? She looks fine here. Right? She looks like a professional. You see her walking around the Capitol building in your state. You wouldn't think anything of it, right? What's wrong with this going to work? Anywhere you work. What's wrong with looking professional anywhere that you work? When the woke enter your establishment, whatever that may be, it's just a matter of time before they tear it apart. Because that's what they do. Victims don't know how to do anything but tear everyone else down. Here's another one. Let's see what she has to say here. She concurred. It is not lost on me that respectability politics is often... Okay, so she's the one that said this. Used to control black and brown bodies. And female bodies. So she made sure to get black and brown. So she's got that covered. So she's got the whole race thing covered. Everything but white. And female bodies. So then she got the subset a little bit smaller. So she got the females over onto the side. But she had said here, colonization language. Native to America. Living in this country. Taking advantage of all the great things we have to offer here. I always wondered if the United States is such a horrible colonized place that's so terrible. Man, homeboy needs a tan. If it is so terrible here, and colonization, yada, 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 because that's never going to change. Our history is never going to change. They may try to rewrite it, but the history in which the U.S. is founded upon, the good and the bad, the struggles we've had and the gains we've made, those things are never going to change. It's always an argument that the weak fall back on. So it makes you wonder, if they're standing on the soil of a place that's so terrible, so oppressive, so hurtful to them, it's so violent to think of things that went on so long ago that had nothing to do with them. If all of these things are going on here and they're never going to change, why do they stay? Could it be that all of the good and the bad that went on here long before us, could it be that it's created what was once the greatest nation ever? And I say once because we're at a struggling point right now. I think we've kind of lost a little bit over the past 10 years or so. Lost a lot of our greatness. Trying to restore that. Difficult given the current political climate we're in, but with all of the greatness that's here and how we're trying to work back to that, it's a struggle. How are these individuals able to look themselves in the eye, knowing that they're waking up every day in the land of colonization, former supremacists, oppression, slavery? How can they look at themselves in the mirror, knowing that they're part of it? I'll tell you why. Because they know that there's nowhere else better. They're just cowards. We've got it so good here. They've never set foot outside of this country to live. And they won't, because they're cowards. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. USA, baby.